to Sharjah. This is the second game in the Coca-Cola Cup Series. We had the first game yesterday between India and New Zealand. Today it's Australia and New Zealand. Plenty of thrills yesterday in the game won by India just by 15 runs, 220 to 205, and one or two significant moments, I thought, certainly with Sachin Tendulkar. And this is what happened to him for the very first ball of the match. Or perhaps closer to say what happened to Simon Doull. Smashed away through the covers, a beautiful stroke, and then just before he was dismissed, the ball before, Simon Doull was the man out at mid-off, made a half-decent attempt to get to it, and then caught the next ball. Sachin Tendulkar gone, 76 for 1 and only 14 overs used up, and he was giving himself a little bit of room and a bit of space down the pitch as well. It was a good firm hit. To tell us about the pitch, out in the centre of the ground now, Sunil Gavaskar.
They used two pitches here in Sharjah, one which was used yesterday for the India-New Zealand game, and this one which will be used for the game today. There's not much of a difference between the two pitches. We saw that yesterday the odd ball kept low. There was a bit of turn for the spinners, and that's what's going to happen even here today. Just a little bit of turn, not too much. The side batting first will obviously need to put up a lot of runs because the pitch gets slower and lower as the day progresses. So the captain winning the toss, he will opt to bat first, and it's no surprise therefore that Stephen Fleming, having won the toss, has opted to bat first.
Nothing like the crowd in today. Shane Warne is playing in the Australian side. We'll show you the teams in just a moment. Here's the first ball from Fleming. New Zealand, the batting side. This is the lineup they have in. Just the one change from yesterday, and Shane O'Connor comes into the side. Simon Doull is out, and they've kept the others there. Coach is Steve Rickson. And the Australian team, a new lineup for this competition, the Coca-Cola Cup. Mark Waugh, Adam Gilchrist, Ricky Ponting, Michael Bevan and Steve Waugh. Then Darren Lehman, Tom Moody, Shane Warne, Gavin Robertson, Mike Kaspovich and Damien Fleming. Alan Border is the coach, having taken over from Jeff Marsh. First runs on the board for New Zealand. And to bring you up to date with all sorts of other things in the commentary box, Gregory Stephen Chappell and Ravi Shastri.
Thank you very much, Rich. Lorne Howell will be very pleased to be off the mark. He won't care that this was a big inside edge from an attempted cut shot. He'll take them however he can get them. Out for naught yesterday. So first runs on the board for him in the series. Fleming to continue. Aiming for the outswing, bowling around about middle and leg, trying to get the ball to swing back, but on that occasion going straight on.
Yes, the kind of field that's been set for him. Very important that he holds his line, because now here, if the batsman had got any bat onto that one, then there might have been some runs there for Astel, because fine leg is up in the circle.
That's more the line he's required to bowl, but too much width for his captain and his own liking. Ian Robinson from Zimbabwe, the umpire, signalling the boundary there.
He's a very aggressive player early on, Astel. He just smashed this on the up through point. He was looking good even yesterday in the game against India till he was dismissed. Good balance there when he played that shot.
Obviously a few Australian and New Zealand residents around the place here today to watch the two teams do battle. This Anzac clash. It's a good shot down the ground. Too full from Kaspovich, also looking for the swing. Not forthcoming on this occasion.
Well, this is nicely put away by Howell. It was up there in the slot, and he got the placement absolutely right. Strong man. He's a big chap. Lorne Howell missed out yesterday, but he's got a couple of boundaries here today.
Again, good contact. Ponting the fielder. That's always dangerous. He's again hit the stumps. That'll be very, very close and very unfortunate for New Zealand if it brings about a dismissal. A little bit of a delay by the The backing up runner allowed Ponting just enough time, and he's hit the stumps again with a direct throw.
Well, this is a magnificent piece of fielding. He's one of the better fielders in the Australian side, and I think Astle is in trouble here. I think the body language of the Australian suggests that he's definitely out. We'll take another look. He's gone. It's going to be close, but I think he's just short of his ground. So Mohammad Azharuddin, when he was out yesterday, his bat was on the line. I think Astle's bat here is just short of the line. So New Zealand, I think, have lost their first wicket. They certainly have. The red light comes on. 20-for-1 the score. It's been again sent in at number 3, obviously, to try and take advantage of the fielding restrictions in the first 15 overs. 103 against India and Pune, his career best. He has a good strike rate too.
Even though he hit that ball in the air, it was done with a good cricket shot. Perfectly straight bat and good technique, and just hit through the line and just gave a little bit of elevation to what was a normal straight drive. And I think that's important when looking for a player to go in early and perhaps lift the run rate. You need to pick somebody who can play, who has a good technique and can play normal cricket shots with perhaps a little bit of elevation when the opportunity presents itself, and that's exactly what we saw there. A very good cricket shot. He's given him out, LBW. Ian Robinson had a good long look at it. It was a confident shout from the Australians, but Ian Robinson, the umpire at the Sharjah club end, took a long, hard look at it. Must have almost had a replay in his own mind. This is what he saw, and that's why he gave it out.
2 little red dots, the wickets that New Zealand have lost. It's been just steady progress for New Zealand. 1 maiden, the 9th over, bowled by Damien Fleming. Nicely struck. That's a boundary.
He does play that shot well. Played 2 gorgeous straight drives of Venkatesh Prasad yesterday, Stephen Fleming. And he's giving the same treatment to Michael Kasprowicz, playing it on the up and hitting it very straight.
Has a nice full swing of the bat, Stephen Fleming. Quite an amazing player. He times the ball extremely well for a guy who really doesn't cock his wrist very much. It's one of the reasons, I think, why he doesn't play a lot of horizontal bat shots. He's much more of a straight bat player, cover driver, a straight driver. But he does, when he drives, he gives it a really full swing of the bat. You see there the follow through, finishing up on his shoulder. It's a lovely full swing of the bat. I'm surprised you didn't mention that between 1 and 4 is an opportunity to conserve a bit of energy as well, Sonny.
Oh, you need to conserve energy down here. You can see Michael Kasprowicz bowling the off spinner quite regularly, that too in his first spell. Not only is it one way to try and deceive the batsman or expecting quicker deliveries, but also one way of conserving energy. You're not bowling flat out fast every ball.
Well, that's a lovely shot again. Another good example of that free-flowing swing of the bat as the New Zealand 50 comes up.
Well, this is an even better shot from the New Zealand captain. He plays that shot on the up very well, given just a little bit of width. And he holds the bat pretty high, doesn't hold it near the shoulder of the bat. And you can see from that he's more happy driving rather than cutting. Look at that, beautifully executed.
Cairns on 17, Fleming 15. Chris Cairns doesn't play the pull shot, or hasn't played it much in his career. I think it's a shot that he's looking to add to his repertoire. Gave that one the real short-arm jolt.
Powerfully built man, Chris Cairns, using his height also to good advantage. Short arm pull.
It's a good save. Ricky Ponting again. I think what's happened is most bowlers around the world, or the faster bowlers, have stopped pitching the ball up to Chris Cairns because he hammers it. So we see Ricky Ponting knock that one down. And I think they're starting to bowl a little shorter to him. That's why he's looking to add the pull shot to his repertoire.
That makes a lot of sense, because if you're going to get tied down by shortish bowling, it makes a lot of sense to add a shot like that, particularly in the first 15 overs.
Oh, well caught. Tom Moody's taken a very good catch there. That was hit firmly, and it was wide of Moody. And very athletic catch.
Well, New Zealand could have done without losing that wicket, and that too of Chris Cairns, who was beginning to bat well, beginning to stroke the ball well, this time hitting it up in the air. Very good reflex action catch by Tom Moody. And after 15 overs, New Zealand have lost their third wicket for 61.
Matthew Horn, the new batsman, coming in at number 5 with New Zealand at 61 for 3, and the 15 overs have been bowled. In the commentary position now, Tony Greig, and with him, Greg Chappell.
Thanks very much, Ian. Yes, let's have another look at the wicket. Misses it. And very well taken. Very difficult to latch onto those Corton bowls. That was quite wide of him, actually. Just watch him here. The long arms go out there, and he catches it in his fingertips. So well taken, Tom Moody. This will give you an idea. He was moving away, and there we are. He caught that one, and I think he realized that it was a good catch. Look at it, right in the end of his fingers. Big hands he's got.
Very happy Tom Moody, 1 for 7 from his 2 overs. It's been a good start for the Australians. 15 overs, 61 for 3. New Zealand would have hoped for better than this under the conditions, winning the toss. Stephen Fleming, in picture there, won the toss and elected to bat first. You'll be a little bit disappointed with the situation of the game at this stage. New Zealand in a bit of trouble.
Right off the stumps, worked away nicely. You could hear the yell from Warren there. Back for the second. A lot depends now on Fleming. He played well yesterday, but just when he really needed to just quietly go along without taking too many risks, he just chipped one in up on the onside field, and of course that was the end of that. Now that's the inning so far. Maiden there, and a couple of other low ones here.
Down.
Well, that's well played. Lovely timing. That's outfield's pretty quick today as well. Quite a warm day here in Saisha, and that one certainly did whistle across the outfield for 4.
Fleming has the advantage of having made runs here yesterday. He's pretty used to the pace and bounce of this pitch. Regulation half volley, hit straight through at Lehman at mid-off.
And that's the New Zealand batting card so far. Might be worthwhile just having a quick look at the dismissals so far, just to show you what's happened so far. This is the first one. This is a run out. Wonderful work this by Ricky Ponting. Astle out by, I suppose it was 2 or 3 inches. But there we are. Just watch that bail go just short of the line he was there, and that was the end of him. And he wasn't very happy about it, understandably so. And a big appeal there for LBW. Howell given out. And so that too was a blow, just when they needed to get things moving a little bit. And what a Corton bowl that was. Chris Cairns had been kept relatively quiet. Nicely taken by Tom Moody. And so the Australian figures perfectly satisfactory. Fleming 1 for 24. Kastrovic has also bowled 6 overs, no wickets for 24. And Moody and Shane Warne operating at the moment. Plenty of options available for the Australian side. I think they've probably got 8 or even 9 players capable of bowling a few overs, or who have bowled a few overs. Well, this is a lovely view of the ground here, the Sarsha Stadium. You can see that land all around the stadium actually been developed quite nicely. Quite a few football grounds out there. They've got a nice little stadium alongside the cricket ground here. Lots of tennis courts as well, as that one is swept away nicely for 4. Right, well, that will relieve the pressure just a little bit. Vaughan just pitching outside leg stump there, and that sweep shot being used very effectively. Vaughan, the batsman here, managed to get it away nicely. Yes, when I first came here, going back a few years, there was absolutely no greenery at all around this area. It was all very, very brown. It's certainly come on a long way. Just have a look at that now. It's absolutely wonderful. Some tennis courts out there as well. Some nice practice facilities. 77 for 3, Fleming 26. Oh, well played. He purposely got that one away wide of Gilchrist. Yes, I think he's decided now that he really has to do something. These chaps are bowling such a good length, very difficult to drive, and so Horn just nudging that one past the wicketkeeper.
A genuine cricket shot, just a running glide, almost an off glance there, just out of reach of Gilchrist. Frustration for the bowler, but the New Zealanders really have got to come up with some inventive shots like this to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Small crowd in today compared with yesterday when they were packed to the rafters. 20,000 people in to see a thrilling contest between India and New Zealand, with India coming out on top by 15 runs. Now Shane Warne from the end nearest the commentary box, the pavilion end. Be interesting to be able to compare Warne and Robertson from one point of view, how much they're turning the ball on this pitch. Sitting in the back of the comm box, I've had one impression about Shane Warne, and that is that he's not trying to turn the ball much today, that he's concentrating on top spinners, just pushing it through. And Gavin Robertson at the other end, I think, already has spun a couple reasonably sharply. Got him. Well, top spinner or leg break or whatever you like. Tom Moody has snaffled it away down a deep backward square. Shane Warne has the wicket, and now New Zealand on a beautiful batting track are deep in trouble.
Matthew Horn not happy with himself, just got a top edge there, and Tom Moody hardly had to move. He took it very casually. So Tom Moody taking his second catch in this innings, New Zealand at 90 for 4.
Two of the Australians leaving the field now, carrying water bottles every time as a wicket falls, and in between as well. Some of the designated ones will rush out. It's warmish here today, about 35 degrees yesterday, and they say pushing up around the 40 mark today. New Zealand won the toss and decided to bat. That's to their advantage, but the score isn't. 90 for 4 after 23.2. The reason Craig McMillan is in there is that stroke played by Matthew Horn just about straight as a die to Tom Moody. There were two men out there waiting for that sweep, so it was a well-planned move. They're only within 20-30 yards of one another.
You were talking about Shane Warne bowling a lot of top spinners. He said in the final in Delhi, after he'd injured his shoulder, that he was going to bowl mostly top spinners. That occasion, just enough bounce to catch the top edge as Horn swept. So I think, Richie, it's probably a case of that's the one that hurts the least, the top spinner.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I saw that match you're talking about on Foxtel in Australia. Very good coverage. excellent game of cricket. I thought Warren bowled magnificently, but so did the other Australians. They did a terrific job. And Warren that day was exactly as Ian Chappell's just described him. Got another one. The fumble was there for a moment for Darren Lehmann, but he's recovered it, much to everyone's jubilation, except the man who's slouching his way off the field at the moment. Very, very unhappy.
Yes, he's got his head down because he doesn't want to see Stephen Fleming. Fleming, after this was caught, wandered away a few paces to his right. He obviously didn't want to catch the eye of the batsman either, because I think he felt that he would have been so angry he might have said something to him. Wasn't a smart piece of batting, that. New Zealand 92 for 5.
This is the man who produces all the shouts out there. Bowl Larry from Adam Perora and others. It's Chris Harris, left-hander and a very good limited overs player. Comes in at 92 for 5. It's the last ball of Shane Warne's over, so it's going to be Gavin Robertson again.
Bowling, Gav. Come on, lad.
Shane Warne with 2 wickets in his last over. Craig McMillan just a little lazy there and chipped it straight to Darren Lehmann. Sometimes just gets a little lazy with the feet. It's the sort of thing, whoops, bit of a fumble and up under the chin for a second, and then finally he's got it.
2 from 19 balls for Chris Harris. Record against Australia is not standing up at the moment. Fleming 36 from 58. They're making hard work of it, but in the main that's due to some excellent bowling and superb fielding from the Australians. 5 wickets down. Shane Warne to bowl, and Harris is on strike. Warne has 2 for 20 off 8 at the moment. You only get a wide for that, but they always want to go for the catch. Or the LBW. The umpire, Johnny, just smiles. 100 up.
Given as a leg by. A little bit of turn there on that occasion for Shane Warne.
Come on, lads. Ready for it now. Bowling. Ah, top work, Warnie.
Excellent piece of fielding. Shows you how, well, what an influence the spinners are having. That second 50 taking many more balls than the first 50.
Two men out in the boundary, one at deep backward square and one at long on. But that went to deep mid wicket.
Bit of frustration getting to Chris Harris. He's been tied down.
Therefore, perhaps making sure that they aren't setting Australia a huge target to chase. The match could well finish early. Look at that. They really haven't had an over which has gone over 10. As of course the first 25 overs. It's in the first 15 overs that you actually expect the batsman to look at 10 and 15 and over. And it's even gone down in the overs after 25 overs.
Meanwhile, the battle in the centre continues. Harris out there batting on 1,999 one-day international runs. He's got one to get for his 2,000 and then joins a very exclusive group of cricketers. There we are. He's now scored 2,000 runs and he's taken over 100 wickets, and there are only 11 cricketers that have ever done that, including now Chris Harris. 130 for 5. Fleming on 49. Just one to get for his half century. Harris on 17. To tell you more, it's going to be Ravi Shastri, and with him is Ian Chappell.
Thanks, Tony. Well, not enough runs is basically the story at the moment for New Zealand. It's been a real struggle for them after losing early wickets, and Fleming is in good form, but even he has struggled to get the innings started again.
Yes, the captain Fleming now must be facing a dilemma here, whether to actually go after the bowling or stay there. He knows it's important that his presence there till the very end will be crucial if New Zealand have to post a respectable score.
.50 for Stephen Fleming. Yes, I don't think he's got any choice now, Ravi. I think he's just got to say, well, I've got to stay there till the end, and if it's only a score of 200 at the end, well, that's what we've got, and we've got to bowl well enough to win it.
Absolutely right, because the confidence will spread to the other players if he's there.
That's pretty well played. Opened the face of the bat. Still not able to reach the rope.
He's played this well. He's played it late, and like Ian Chappell was saying, just opening the face of the blade so that he could beat that man at short third man.
Running, Flemo.
So 5 runs coming off that over. 139 for 5.
This afternoon, the World Motorcycle Grand Prix from
every Monday night at 7:30 on Fox Sports.
Well, it's just been hard work for New Zealand, building up this total. 139 for 5 after 40 overs. Stephen Fleming with his second consecutive 50 in this series, holding the side together with some assistance from Chris Harris. Final over for Gavin Robertson. That's a good shot from Fleming. One of his great strengths, the cover drive. Still unable to reach the rope.
That seemed to be a little predetermined from Stephen Fleming. He picked the spot where he wanted to hit that ball. He knows this is Robertson's last over. So he looked to try and give himself some room so that he could hit inside out over extra cover.
Another predetermined shot. A little sweep. He's just trying to unsettle Robertson at the moment.
Good job, lads.
Yes, this time he fires it into the leg stump. And Fleming plays a clever shot there. The previous delivery, he had backed away and looked to hit on the offside. This time he just stays where he is and just paddles it around the corner.
Bowling, Gavin.
Partnership now worth 51. On his bowling, just got one to turn enough. So that is a real blow for New Zealand.
Yes, this is a huge blow because Fleming was the man they were looking to try and bat right through this innings. He's a man in good form. But this was well bowled by Gavin Robertson. He pushed this one through and it turned a long way. That's beautifully bowled. Pitched on leg stump, hit off. The New Zealand captain is dismissed. 143 for 6.
Pretty talented player to have coming in at number 8. Adam Perore has both Test and one-day international hundreds in the side as a keeper, but definitely a batsman as well. An average of 30. Has played Test cricket as a batsman. And that century in a one-day international scored against South Africa. Well, Stephen Fleming really only has himself to blame for his dismissal. He really opens the face here, and he's almost trying to play the ball with just the edge of the bat. Where he normally, when he's driving, he gives it the full face of the bat. There, he just opens the blade and virtually allows the ball past.
Yes, I don't think he expected the ball to turn as much as it did, and it turned sharply, so it didn't give him time to adjust once he was beaten. He's a tall man with a high arm action, Gavin Robertson.
The remnants of the Australian party. You've got Damien Martin, Adam Dale and Ian Harvey, the three players, starting from the left. And you've got Alan Border, coach. Just hitting outside the line of off stump. Long on, Michael Kaspovich. Is Alan Border just helping out in the coaching position? Jeff Marsh, apparently the last couple of times he's been to Sharjah, he's finished up in hospital with asthma, so they didn't want to take the chance. He went home after India. Alan Border is doing this leg as coach, and then there's the liaison man there. Ray Phillips, former wicketkeeper for Australia, went on the tour of England in 1985. Played for Queensland. So a couple of Queenslanders together there in the white shirts. Alan Border transferring from New South Wales to Queensland.
Good work, Warner.
Man at long on, and Darren Lehman judges it perfectly. It's gone straight down his throat, and the New Zealanders have presented Australia with some pretty easy catches.
Again, no mistake in the outfield, and again another batsman perishing in trying to clear the boundary line. Frustrated with runs coming in just ones and twos, and this time trying to break free. Unfortunately for Harris, he finds the man at long on. It's a pretty straightforward catch there for Darren Lehman. New Zealand lose their 7th wicket, 153 runs on the board.
Dion Nash, the new batsman for New Zealand, with the score a rather dismal 153 for 7. In the commentary position now, Richie Beno, and with him Tony Greig.
Thanks, Ian. Yes, they're in all sorts of trouble, aren't they? The question now is, can Nash perform a little bit of magic? And I suppose down the other end, Perore is the man who certainly down in Australia had a good time with the bat. He came in on numerous occasions when they were in all sorts of trouble, and managed to get them out of a hole or two. Let's have another look at the dismissal. Down the wicket he goes and just lobs it up in the air. Never really got hold of it at all. Pretty straightforward catch. Never looked like carrying to the boundary.
Just like radar. Pick him out, hit it, and the fielder, well, I suppose he had a yard forward to move, and then he had to go back a yard. Unerring precision. 153 for 7. 26 to Chris Harris. Took him 69 balls. That's a good measure of how well the Australians have bowled here. Last 2 games they've played, the final in India, which they've won, having not done quite as well in the preliminary games, and then this one here, they're first in the Coca-Cola Cup here in Sharjah. They've looked very, very impressive.
Fleming 1 for 27. And bowling a good line, actually. He's been spot on target 8.1 overs, so he's only conceding 3.3 runs an over. The first spell, 6 overs, 1 for 24, and he's now bowling his second spell. Oh, that's well fielded, beautifully fielded. Mark Waugh going to his left there, and he really does do it so easily, doesn't he?
There's been a whole string of beautiful fielding exploits out there from the Australians today, starting with Ponting's early run out, full stretch, and then the balance.
I'll tell you what, the throw wasn't far away either. He managed to just let it go quickly at the stumps. And the ball was literally inches over the middle stump. And once again, back into the action. That time his brother, little backhander, just missing the stumps. Let's just watch how close the throw is. He's made a brilliant stop. And then we'll see the throw. Full stretch. He's got to turn around and let it go. Just bounced over the middle stump. That's got to be close, and an attempt at a run out as well, and they'll eventually get an overthrow. Well, they'll have to be leg biased because there was a big appeal for LBW. I think he probably just got outside the line, but it must have been pretty close. Quite a confident appeal.
Just a fraction outside, it looked with the naked eye. Whether it does, yep, just outside off stump and playing a stroke. Wouldn't be more than a few millimetres in it.
Neck and crop. Well, you can't really blame Perore for trying to go for that one. He's trying to turn it on a little bit. The batsmen really have got New Zealand into a big hole, and he really was just trying to do something about it, trying to heave it away down towards square leg, missed it, and of course the stumps went back.
You might find that the appeal and the subsequent happenings had an effect on Perore there. Trying to smash it away over mid-wicket from off and middle instead of trying to hit it down the ground. 8th wicket down, 155 on the board and 5 for Perore.
Steered away on the offside. He's had a go down the non-striker's end, and I think had he hit the stumps, that may well have been pretty close. Well, that's also the end of the over, so it's 155 for 8. 47 overs have been bowled, and he really did throw at those stumps. Again, he's very quick, very deceptive how quickly he gets rid of the ball. He looks a pretty casual sort of customer, Mark Waugh, but watch this.
Perfectly balanced again. That's half the secret. Not quite miles out, but certainly feet. Balance and the instant throw.
Mark Priest is the new batsman.
Calling, Ma.
He's out there because of this wicket. Perore trying to heave that one over down towards square leg, and it just deflected off his back pad. A little bit of spin there for Mark Waugh. Ponting, the fieldsman. Run rate has just steadily declined down to 3.29 now.
Down, down, down.
No, he's going to have to fall in behind that one. And interestingly enough, there Shane Warne actually threw that one in and just stretched his shoulder a little bit. You can see he's hanging on to it.
I think he's just hanging on to it to make sure it doesn't fall off. This is not very clever, I'm afraid. Oh, it's hurt from here.
All well bowled, and again the booming cover drive beats the outside edge. Just a little bit of curve in that off spinner. That's why it beat the edge. You watch this one go out a little bit in the air. That's the Central Mosque. It's a wonderful building. It really is beautiful. And, oh, that's got to be a bit close. He's round the wicket, mind you. And the score, he would have been run out as well. Well, the umpire said no, and then just watched the fieldsman get the ball in, and had that hit the stumps, there would have been a run out, that's for sure. Yes, a bit hard to give him from round the wicket. Is he right back on his stumps? Well, yeah, I think it may have just missed the leg stump. And then, of course, in goes the throw, and the batsman's 5 metres out of his ground. Got him, caught behind that time, tried to smash that one through the offside field. And I think that may have been a slower delivery, the way it looped to Gilchrist, and he didn't make any mistake. And so Fleming has struck again.
That's very cleverly bowled, and he's just demonstrating to the rest of the team there how he held it back, just rolled his fingers over the top of it. Batsman might have picked it, but still couldn't play it. 159 for 9. That's well bowled. Priest out for 2.
That was close to the outside edge too, so Fleming causing a few problems. Well, Shane O'Connor is the new batsman, and he's not known for his ability with the bat. No doubt working at it in the nets, but so far he hasn't really had much of an impression. Average of 5. Well, I've known 1 or 2 that have started off a little lower than that and had to build it up. Oh, that's a big appeal, and he's giving him. Yes, he's gone. That's out LBW. Well, he must have been right back on his stumps there, because the angle was from quite wide. Fleming lets the ball go from almost at the return crease when he's around the wicket, and that one was given out LBW.
The New Zealand card 159, 48.4 overs. They couldn't even bat out their full 50. Stephen Fleming again the hero for New Zealand, 59 from just 94. 26 for Harris, but it took him 69, which is not his normal form. And up the top there, 13 for Howell and 19 for Cairns. And a very, very good performance, which was brought about by some excellent bowling and some brilliant fielding, Greg.
Yes, the Australians fielded very well. I thought New Zealand fielded well yesterday, but the Australian fielding today was excellent. I mean, Ricky Ponting, we saw early in the piece with the run out to get the first wicket. I think Ricky's one of the best, if not the best fielder in the world at the moment. Brilliant movement away to his left-hand side, gathered quickly, and a direct hit, as he so often does. I think Alan Border is someone he's learned from. Alan was always very accurate with those throws when the run-out chances were on. And of course, Tom Moody's caught and bowled of Chris Cairns, right in the long fingers of Tom Moody, off balance, going the wrong way. And really, I think as much as the bowling was excellent, it was the fielding of the Australians which kept the New Zealanders down to the total of 159.
Bit of a downer, though, afterwards when Shane Warne had finished his 10 overs.
Yeah, Shane does the chasing, brilliant pick-up, then he throws and immediately grabs his shoulder, which is not a good sign. We know he's had some problems, and he's exacerbated those in recent times. Not a good sight for Australia.
Well, there the bowling figures for the Australians. Fleming 4 for 28, a wicket for Moody, 2 for 28 for Shane Warne, 1 for 30 for Robertson, who I thought bowled very well. Mark Waugh 1 for 26.